Shea, you and Jared and Evan, who is in Charleston, you guys, it looks like it just may be a rain event for you all, but it's much cooler down in your area as well as this cold front has moved through and we start to see this pattern change.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. I mean, we have a large area of high pressure that's building down out of the northern tier, and so that's just forcing cold air down all the way and then downslope all the way to the coastline. So that looks to be the pattern for tomorrow and Friday. I mean, we're going to be pretty chilly here in the upper 40s to near 50 for highs and down near freezing at night. So take care of the people, pets, plants, and pipes are the 4 Ps that we cover. We're not really built for freezing pipes. We're not looking at deep freeze or anything, but just to be aware, at least for pets and plants and children and whatnot, to be aware that it's going to get very cold at nighttime. But as we get into the weekend, we warm up a little bit around this low. We're going to be on the southern side of this. So we're going to have a southerly draw with a little bit of warm sector out ahead of it. And then wrapping around that after this low exits, it's going to get cold again. And I think that's going to be a pattern for a little while. I mean, we are in the winter, as James says, and El Nino we're still in El Nino watch as of January the 7th. That was the last diagnosis from the ENSO from the CPC. So we're still in this sort of El Nino-ish pattern where we could get this moisture continuing to stream in the southeast region, which that looks to be a pretty typical pattern. We finally got 5 or 6 dry days out of this since our last soaking. And so we've been very fortunate to have that, but we're getting ready to get another wet pattern as we get into the weekend. And then we could be following that with a succession of wet patterns every few days or so as the El Nino keeps the stream of moisture up from the south. Now, the big question is going to be as we get towards the last couple of weeks of January, are we going to enter into a pretty cold pattern along the eastern U.S.? And some of the signals are saying yes, and some of the temperatures in the northern tier are going to get very cold, and then that means additional cold weather for the southeast region. So there may be more potential for some wintry storms or wintry precipitation events that occur, just a matter of how far south it goes. So that is we are entering the prime season for it. Jared, did you want to say anything about Charleston for right now?
One thing about Charleston in particular that's actually rather interesting is that we haven't been below freezing since mid-December. And we haven't had a sub 30-degree temperature since the last day of January 2018. So to give you a general idea, it hasn't been that cold here. I know we started last year with a snowstorm, and it seemed impossible to believe that we started with a snowstorm. Man, 2018 was such a cold year. Really wasn't. And so we're going to be seeing some cold shots that we haven't seen for actually quite a while here. So I hope people are preparing. There's the potential for some agricultural issues. I've gotten a lot of reports from people and my own nose telling me that stuff is trying to bloom. Pollen's out there.
Azaleas are blooming now, so we're seeing springtime. Mm-hmm. Don't be fooled because we still have some cold weather to deal with.